You know what the hardest part of decluttering is? It's not the closets packed to the ceiling. It's not the garage with 50 years of "I'll use that someday." It's not even deciding what to keep. It's this moment. Picking up something that belonged to your mother or a gift from someone you loved and feeling your whole chest tighten up. Because how do you let go of something that means something? That's exactly what we're talking about today. And I'm going to tell you something right now that changed everything for me. Keeping every single item is not the same as honoring the memory. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you are going to feel so much lighter. Welcome back to Senior Decluttering Diaries, the place where we take decluttering one gentle, doable step at a time. If you're new here, hello, I'm so glad you found us. This channel is all about simplifying your home and your life, without the guilt, without the overwhelm, and without rushing you. If that sounds like your kind of space, go ahead and hit subscribe. We put out new videos every week, and every single one is made with you in mind. Now, today we are tackling the big one, sentimental items, the stuff that stops us cold, the boxes in the basement we've moved 3 times without ever opening, the drawer full of cards from people who are no longer here. I've been there. I still go there sometimes. But I've learned 9 specific ways to let go of sentimental things, not just survive the process, but actually feel good about it on the other side. We're going to cover all 9 today. Some will feel practical, some will feel emotional, all of them work. Let's get into it. Section 1. Understand why it's so hard. Before we can let go, we have to understand why sentimental items are so difficult in the first place. It's not weakness, it's not hoarding, it's not being overly emotional. It's neuroscience. Our brains actually attach memories to objects. When we hold something that belonged to someone we loved or something that marked a turning point in our lives, our brain treats that object almost like a living connection to that person or that moment. So when someone says, "just throw it out," your brain hears, "throw away the memory." No wonder we freeze. Here's what helped me. I finally understood that the memory is not inside the object. The memory is inside you. It always has been. That old apron that belonged to your grandmother, you don't need the apron to remember how she smelled like cinnamon and laughed too loud at her own jokes. You already carry that. The object is just a trigger for the memory. And there are other, better ways to honor that memory. Ways that don't involve keeping a box in your basement you feel vaguely guilty about every time you walk past it. Comment. I'd love to know, what's the one sentimental item you just cannot bring yourself to let go of? Drop it in the comments. You are not alone, I promise. Section 2. The one keeper rule and letting objects graduate. All right, tip number 1 through 3, I'm grouping these together because they all share the same spirit, choosing intentionally. Tip number 1, the one keeper rule. If you have a collection of sentimental items from one person, say a whole box of your late husband's things or your mother's china set, give yourself permission to choose one, just one item that truly represents that person to you. One item that when you look at it makes you smile instead of ache. Everything else, you can let it go knowing the real memory keeper has been chosen. I did this with my father's tools after he passed. He had an entire workshop. I kept his favorite hammer, the one with the cracked handle he refused to replace. That one hammer tells his whole story. The rest went to people who would actually use them, and I felt good about that. Tip 2. Let objects graduate. Some things were meant for a season. A child's first drawing, a wedding card, a trophy from decades ago. Ask yourself, has this item done its job? That card your best friend gave you 20 years ago, it carried love when you needed it. It did its job beautifully. You can say thank you and let it go. This isn't cold. This is actually deeply respectful of what the object meant. Tip 3. Give it a better home. Sometimes the reason we can't let go is because we can't bear the thought of something meaningful ending up in a landfill. So don't let it go down. Let it go forward. Your grandmother's sewing machine to someone who will actually sew with it. Your children's books to a school library. Your wedding dress to a charity that makes gowns for women who can't afford them. When you know something is going somewhere that matters, letting go becomes a gift, not a loss.
Comment, have you ever found a perfect new home for something sentimental? Tell me about it in the comments. Those stories genuinely make my day. Preserve the memory, not the item. This section is a game changer. Ready? Tip 4. Photograph everything before it goes. Before you donate or pass on a sentimental item, take a photograph of it, a good one. Maybe hold it in your hands. Maybe write a short note on your phone about why it mattered. You'd be surprised how much lighter you feel once something has been documented. It's like your brain gets a receipt. Okay, this is acknowledged. This is saved. We can let the object go now. I have a whole folder on my phone called Things I Loved. It is full of pictures of items I no longer own, and I look through it sometimes. It makes me happy. Tip 5. Create a memory box with a lid that closes. Now I know some of you are going to say, but I already have a memory box, and it's the size of a storage unit. Here's the rule. Pick a box, a real physical box, one that closes. Anything that fits inside the box with the lid on stays. Anything that doesn't fit makes you choose. The lid is the boundary. The boundary is the gift.
Tip 6. Turn something into something else. A quilt made from old t-shirts, a shadow box with your child's baby shoes and hospital bracelet, a framed collage of old photographs from items you can't keep. You don't have to choose between keeping it and losing it. You can transform it into something that lives beautifully in your home instead of hidden in a box. There are people on Etsy who specialize in exactly this kind of memory preservation. It's worth looking into. If tips like these are helping you move forward, please subscribe to Senior Decluttering Diaries. This is exactly the kind of practical, real-talk content we share every week. It would mean a lot to have you as part of this community. Okay, now we get into the emotional deep water. Because so much of what keeps us stuck isn't actually about the object, it's about the person. We worry, what would mom think if she knew I gave away her dishes? We feel like letting go of someone's things is somehow letting go of them. Tip 7. Ask what they would actually want. Think about the people who gave you these things, the people whose belongings you're holding on to. Would they want you to feel burdened? Would they want you to trip over boxes in the hallway every morning? Would they want you to spend emotional energy on things when you could be spending it on living? In most cases, the people who loved us most would want us to be free. They would want us to keep the love, not the stuff. That is not me telling you what to feel. That's me giving you permission to ask the question honestly. Comment. Has guilt ever stopped you from letting go of something? Drop a yes in the comments if you've been there. We're in this together. Tip 8. Have the conversation while you still can. This one is for those of you who still have aging parents or relatives with full homes. Talk to them now. Ask them what they want to happen to their things. Many older adults are relieved to have this conversation. They don't want their children fighting over a dining room set. They want to make the decision themselves while they still can. Having that conversation is one of the kindest things you can do for them and for yourself later. It doesn't have to be heavy. Start with, I've been thinking about simplifying and I'd love your thoughts on some of your things. We're almost there. 2 more tips, and these are the ones I want you to carry with you. Tip 9. Give yourself a ceremony. This sounds a little woo-woo, I know. Stick with me. When you let go of something that truly mattered, give it a moment. Hold it. Say thank you out loud. Tell the story of why it mattered, even if you're alone in the room. Then let it go. This isn't silly. This is how humans have processed loss for thousands of years. We mark things. We acknowledge things. We say goodbye on purpose. When we rush past that moment, the grief lingers. When we honor it, even for 60 seconds, we can actually move forward. I cried once letting go of a cardigan that had belonged to my mother. I held it, I told it what it meant to me, I thanked it, and then I folded it gently into the donation bag, and I felt whole. Not sad, not guilty, whole. Comment. Has a small ceremony or ritual ever helped you say goodbye to something meaningful? I'd genuinely love to hear about it. Share in the comments below. The last thing I want to leave you with is this. You are not erasing anyone. You are not forgetting. You are not being disloyal. You are choosing to honor the people you love by living fully, not by preserving a museum of their belongings. The love is not in the object, the love is in you. And that is the thing no decluttering session can ever touch. All right, let's bring it all together. 9 ways to let go of sentimental items without regret. 1. Understand that the memory lives in you, not the object. 2. Use the one keeper rule. Choose one meaningful item per person. 3. Let objects graduate by acknowledging they've done their job. 4. Give items a better home, so letting go feels like a gift. 5. Photograph everything before it leaves. 6. Use a memory box with a firm, closable lid. 7. Transform items into something beautiful you'll actually display. 8. Ask yourself honestly what the person would actually want for you. 9. Give yourself a small ceremony when you say goodbye to something that mattered. Print that list. Put it on the box you've been avoiding. You are ready for this. You made it to the end, and I just want to say, the fact that you're watching this, that you're thinking about this, means you're already doing the work. Letting go of sentimental items is not about being heartless. It's one of the most deeply human things you can do. It asks you to sit with love and loss at the same time and still choose to move forward. That takes courage, and you have it. If today's video meant something to you, I would be so honored if you subscribe to Senior Decluttering Diaries. Every time you show up here, it reminds me why I do this, and I don't take that lightly. Thank you, truly. Now, next week, we're talking about the one room in the house that almost everyone puts off last. And no, it's not the attic. I'll give you a hint. It involves a lot of paperwork, a lot of "I might need this," and probably a filing cabinet from 1987. You're not going to want to miss it. Until then, take it one item at a time, one memory at a time, one gentle step at a time. You've got this. I'll see you next week.